name is Judy Collins, and I'm the executive director of the United States Staffing Association. And I'm very happy today to get talked to then Travis Powell, who is the owner and really the founder, the president of Essential Personnel and Essential Screens. And today we're really going to be talking about background screening. So, Travis, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Essential?
Yes, absolutely. And Judy, thank you for having me. As she said, I am the president of both Essential Personnel and Essential Screens. We started Essential Screens a little over 12 years ago with the primary idea and focus of improving what was being offered in the background screening industry at that time. We found that there was a lot of incomplete data. Maybe the customer service wasn't at the levels that we were hoping for. Just a lot of areas that we felt needed to be improved. And if we were going to be offering background checks to our staffing clients at that time, we needed to make sure we were getting the best data, the fastest turnaround times, and had somebody that we could work with. So that's kind of what initially started our company, and really those founding principles is focusing on the quality and customer service. And that's really the basis of what Essential Screens started on. You know, our team, we work with the companies large and small all over the country and internationally. We, of course, as I mentioned, focus on that quality and making sure our clients are getting what they need for their clients in the staffing industry. And, our national average turnaround time is like 17 hours. So it's something that we have people focused just on the QCing part and focused on working with third-party vendors and researchers to make sure that, we're industry leader in that turnaround time piece, because we understand that staffing industry, that time is essential to getting it back. So.
Right. Timing is so important, especially now when the qualified applicants and are at such a premium. You do not want to sit there and have them wait to get back their background check before the client company can make a decision and want to bring them on as an employee. And the turnaround time, and then also being a staffing firm owner, then the importance that you have a lot of money that can get tied up in background checks, and you want to make sure that they are accurate. So can you please then help me understand then what really makes a good background screening company, and then why, as a staffing firm owner, why is that important to me?
Sure. Well, I think three items sum it up pretty quickly. It's quality, it's that compliance, and it's that customer service. What makes a good background screening company. In addition to that, the PBSA, which is the National Association for the Background Screening Industry, you have that ability, and it's quite a long process, but to become an accredited background screening company. So that also is something I would look for when determining that. Many times we hear from companies, no matter what type of industry they're in, they run a national background check, or they want a national background check. More than likely, it's because somebody sold them on that concept. It's very quick, it's very cheap, but it's not very good quality. The national, in words, you think it includes everything, but what it touches a lot of areas, and there's good information in there, but not all states and not all counties and different agencies and organizations don't all report to that. So there's a lot of missing information. And so when you're talking with a background screening company, you want to make sure that what they're providing to you is complete. Going to the county, getting the data that is right there at the county, getting the data that's there in those municipalities. We have, of course, companies that come to us and say, hey, our client cannot hire a felon. That's just their hiring requirement. We got to make sure we're not sending them a felon. But yet they tell me that they have been doing a national background check and an MVR. Well, MVR, first of all, is for motor vehicle records. So there's no felony data that's going to come there. And that national federal search or national database search is very, as I mentioned, very open. And you're going to miss a lot if that's all you're doing. So best practices is to use that national search, but also accompany that with the state or the county level information. And so I think that's some of the most important things. Maybe a couple others to touch on is there's a lot of regulations with background checks that if you as a staffing company is not working with a good partner, it can put you in some hot water legally, but also you're risking losing your client, because if you're sending that candidate to your client to work and then they end up with a felony because your less expensive, quick background check that didn't include the information necessary, you could very well lose a multi-million-dollar client for really the difference of doing a good background check might cost $15, $20 at most more. So it's definitely not worth it. But those are some of the biggest things that I'd be looking for.
on there. And I know the legal requirements, what you can ask, what you can't ask. I mean, and it changes from state to state. So it's nice to have a partner that understands all those rules and regulations. And really, it's all about keeping our clients and our staff safe. And really, what could be more important than making sure that the right person is going in and working at your client company? And then what would you say? How would you know that you're working with the best background screening company? What are those requirements?
Yeah. So one of the things I would do is I would ask if they are an accredited background screening company. That's one thing that requires several audits. There's a lot of processes through policy, best practices, regulations that we're audited on to make sure that we're meeting the highest standards in the industry. And there's only about 15% of background screening companies that have that accreditation. So that's the first question I would ask is, do they have that accreditation? The other thing is, every county and every state calls something a little bit different. And so you want to know that you have a partner that you can call. So ask if you're going to be able to speak with the person that's doing the background check, or if you're going to be calling into a call center or not. So, that is one of the things there that I would definitely be sure that you're checking in on, because that's one of the things that we do is you're able to call in and speak to any member on our team who have went through special education to make sure they're able to answer your questions. They're doing the research on the screens. They're not calling in. Our customers are not calling into a call center. So those would be a couple of the big items.
Right. You don't want to be talking to a bot when when it is dealing with background screening companies and really that important information and confidential information, that you make sure that it is housed in the right place. And being accredited is probably very important, and that was probably very smart for you to do. If anybody has any questions really about either the accreditation and what does that really mean, or just any information then about Essential, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, you bet. I would invite anybody, feel free to give me a call directly or speak to any one of my team members. But our phone number is 308-381-2664. Or you can email me directly at tpowell@essentialscreens.com, and be happy to have a conversation with you. We do a lot of education with our clients, answering questions, customizing packages, whatever it might be. And so, we're always willing to take those calls.
Good. That's right. Education and working together to make sure all of our employees and our clients are safe. So I really do appreciate your time, and I hope to be talking to you again soon. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it.